Oh, we're doing.
Okay.
Hi, hello, welcome. Look at this. This is crazy. This is great. Okay,
Guys, what is happening?
Happy Friday. This is Stay Mentally Dope. Come with us as we go on this journey, y'all. We got a little bit to talk about today. So if you saw the graphic, you already know a little bit. Sister. So we're talking about
Never
today.
knew how much I missed it.
Who sings that song? Do we know?
I thought it was Tina Turner. No, they didn't.
I don't know.
They did it in like the Ender one, right? Like the newer season.
Know.
I thought that was them singing that one.
I don't know. I never knew. I always said it sounded like them, and then I was like, but is that them?
Oh, I know it wasn't like the older season when they went like college and stuff like that. That was them singing the theme song, but I don't know who was singing the first one. I have no idea.
Somebody tell us.
Who sings the theme song of Sister?
We really want to know.
First question that needs answers.
The question that needs answers. The other question, well, not question, but y'all remember the bully episode, okay? When they were doing, it's really people call it the double dutch episode because it's when they were double dutching and doing all the stuff.
The episode is actually called Double Dutch.
Oh yeah, but okay, you can call it the double dutch episode if you want to, but we're gonna say this is the bully episode because we're gonna talk a little bit about childhood things and how that still pops up in our adulthood, how that like never really goes away. Maybe it changes, maybe it doesn't at all. Maybe you don't touch it at all, and it still feels the same as it did in high school or middle school or whatever. So we're gonna talk about unhealed childhood things and
like
how our peers, man, we really do a number on each other.
Oh,
during
100%.
During those times. I really think that all young people they need a therapist just in case. Like, I don't mean they have to be in therapy, but they need to be very close to like getting the support they need because it's a lot.
Well, let's be honest. Like, even just you saying that, all of us remember something that was said to us in childhood that was really, really hurtful.
Or said or did.
Yes, or that I've said myself to someone else that was really, really hurtful.
Very much so.
So yeah.
On purpose or not on purpose.
It sticks. And sometimes we're able to let it go and laugh about it. And other times it sticks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I feel like during those times too, everything is still very sticky. Because you're like coming to this place of like, oh my gosh.
Sticks because it's sticky?
It sticks because it's sticky. But it's like, okay, when you're a kid, there's a point where you're like, whatever, I'm just here, I'm in the space. But then you get to a point where like, oh, I have a body. And people notice my body.
Yes.
And like, oh, it's supposed to look a certain way. Or, oh, I'm supposed to look a certain way. Oh, this is weird because I'm getting feedback about this thing. And I never even thought about this thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole thing. Then so you have to overthink. And then everything's sticky because of that, I think.
Yes. It's also opinion. like if you said, if you're in like a self-exploration space, there's a lot of things that we don't even know. So we're just figuring stuff out.
Mm-hmm. A lot of opportunities for embarrassing things to happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, fun. There's hair there. We didn't know there was supposed to be hair there. So now what do I do? And I didn't notice it. Somebody else noticed it. Oh, like my family said, like my body has changed. And they said something to me, but I didn't even notice that. They just said that.
Yeah.
And then so you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be thinking about this all the time.
Or things that you just did not even like. So I can like say for me, I remember thinking that my curly hair was like the cutest thing ever. I would wear it in like a big like top bun on my head, like the little girl off of like Boondocks, and I would have it all over my hair. And a little boy at school told me that my hair looked like pubes, and I never forget that. And it hurt my feelings because for one, I didn't even know what pubes were.
Right. But you know it's a bad thing.
Yes, and I was like, what? Then I remember like. Clearly, I got hair on my arms and being told that I was like too hairy.
Yes, that's like manly or something.
And I had no idea that this was a problem. But like now, me being like at home with a razor, shaving my arms as a 12-year-old, trying to like get rid of this thing that I was like subconscious about now. So yeah, those things happen. Those things happen.
4 days about it, but it's not even just that. Like when I came, I had to have an accent. So that was all anybody can talk about.
Yes.
You're not from here. Where are you from? Oh my gosh, you sound white. All these things. And so I'm like, I didn't know it was a bad thing. I'm just like, this is the way
I talk.
It happened. Like, this is the way I came out. I don't know what to tell you. And so all of these things that we think are normal or that we do in our family that are normal. And then we go to school and everybody around us is giving us opinions on about what we're doing and what we're not doing and how we're not doing it right.
Yes. And then we're going to add an extra layer, like Jasmine said, sometimes when we're the ones who say things to other people, whether intentionally or unintentionally. In this particular episode, we're talking about a childhood bully, which a lot of times the childhood bullies are intentional. They're normally dealing with their own sense of insecurity or something that's bothering them, and then they project it off onto someone else. This is normally a child that's dealing with their own issues with how they look, or their own issues with something going on at home, or they're jealous of something that you have, and therefore they try to tear you down because it's gonna make them feel better.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's so sticky, because we already have that foundation, like we were saying, like you're already in this vulnerable spot. And then on top of that, people who are also in a vulnerable spot, they cope with it in a way that's harmful, right?
Yes.
They're poking at people, they're making fun of people, they're getting other groups of people together to make fun of people. Like they're doing this process. And so that piles on top of stuff and makes it even more memorable in your mind. And that's how we get all the hard stuff we get during that time. And that's why it still pops up even as adults.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, side note, we're talking about childhood issues. Unfortunately, some of these people never grow up. So we have adult bullies and adult people who project off their feelings on other people into adulthood. But hey, maybe we'll plug our emotional maturity videos also for people to watch as well.
But also, you gotta want to do that. So if you want to be on your emotional maturity journey, definitely go see about it. Go do your own work. Yeah, we can't make anybody do this work.
Yeah.
But like they told us, it'll all be over soon. High school will be over. Middle school will be over. But yes, there are still bullies in adulthood.
Yeah. And the after effects of those situations are still going to be things, unfortunately, sometimes. Like we said, you still remember some of those things. And some of those things still affect you presently if you don't heal from some of those situations.
So let's dig into the episode. So the overview, if you don't remember, back in the day, this whole thing. So what happens is, of course, we know the sisters live together. There's this double Dutch competition that they're going to be in. They're both in it. They're both like, yeah, we're going to do it, whatever. And then Tia, I ain't never gonna get it right. Tia's old grade school, I don't know, because they're in high school now, right? Bully comes up and she's like, "Oh, you in a double Dutch contest? I know you think you're not. That's not what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna beat you, and you still suck like you used to." And immediately she is like, "Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. No, actually, I'm wrong." She said, no, she doesn't want to do it. Then her bully came and she says, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to prove it to you that I can do it.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you." So she becomes really intense about practicing, and she wants to beat Clemmy. Clemmy. She wants to beat Clemmy. She wants to show her she has something to prove, but that means she starts running her sister ragged and the other girls ragged because she has all this to prove.
And she also was not explaining to them what was going on with them. She was just telling them, that this was important and that no one else was dealing with their stuff, which is something that we tend to do. We don't really want to exercise the vulnerability of telling people what's going on with us or how we're feeling. What we're going to do is just tell you that you're the problem. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. Instead of me actually just saying, "Hey, Jasmine, I think I'm having an issue."
But I feel like that, it goes from childhood into adulthood, right? Because people are making fun of us or pointing out something that's vulnerable, it's hard. Like when people are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm being bullied at school." Like, "Sally, why didn't you tell me?" Because it's embarrassing, because it's shameful, because it's humiliating. Like, somebody told me this was bad about me. And so now I would tell you, then I have to tell you the thing that other people think is bad about me.
Yeah. And I think that also when you add on the extra layer of being older, not really wanting to admit that my childhood bully walked up and said something that still triggered me at this age.
Yes. Yeah, that's what she said a lot. Like, I'm upset that this still gets to me.
Yeah.
And I still feel this way when she comes around.
Yes.
And that was hard too, because that also makes you feel even smaller of just it internalizes that, right? Somebody's bad behavior, you're saying, "Oh, this is partially my fault, then I'm letting it upset you." But that person has bad behavior, right? They said something out of line and messed up. That is theirs. That's not necessarily yours.
Yeah.
But we take it and have ownership over it.
Which is one of the things that we want to highlight as well when it comes to situations that could make them traumatic. You think about someone bullying you, that does not always seem like a traumatic event. But one of the things that we say about trauma, and I'm pretty sure that we've said in multiple other episodes, is that it's about the message that is received from the traumatic event. So in this particular situation, Tia receives a message that I'm not good enough. And as soon as she sees Clemmy again, that same message reappears that I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it like harder for her, because it changed the way that she viewed herself, or the way that she viewed her surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also put her back in that trauma response for her to survive by overachieving to prove that she is enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%, right? Like, and that also, we always talk about this, trauma is different for different people, right? A different kid can go through the same thing she went through and not have trauma, not consider it trauma, not even get those messages from those things. There's a whole lot of circumstances that go with that. But like, it just depends. So for this particular case, yeah, it's trauma.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people as well, I think that brings up a good point. A lot of people don't know they have childhood, middle school bullying trauma.
Mhm.
A lot of people, as you know, like I think like adults, because we have to like watch kids go through this. They're always like, well, this happened to me and that happened to me and I was fine and I made it through. But you're not fine now, because like you still pick on me and you still do like you're still like showing these wounds. But because everybody has to go through it, or like it's normal for this age, doesn't mean it's not traumatic. It is.
Yes. Or also highlighting that sometimes I don't think that we recognize when something has changed the way that we see ourselves or see the world. We don't even always recognize it. It's something about like
Absolutely.
when I'm working with my clients and we're working through trauma or situations or whatever, and getting to the fact of asking them, at what point did you learn that like you couldn't trust people? At what point did you learn that like
we're pulling the thread and it's going
life
far.
wasn't unsafe? So like they don't recognize, like they've been walking around for years thinking like, oh, I can't tell anybody my business. Like, oh, I can't trust people. Like, oh, people aren't safe. And you don't realize that this happened all because of a situation that happened when you were like 13 years old.
I have no idea that the wiring is connected that way.
Yeah.
And we're like pulling on this thread and we get there and we're like, ooh, like, listen, this is 1993 that we started feeling this way. And it's always like something deep. But like, we have to know that's happening in order to do something about it. Right?
Yeah.
We have to know like, ooh, that's where the wound comes from. And I'm not still there. Like there's work to do around it so that we can get through it.
And even that part, that coming to that realization that I'm not still there. Because a lot of times, I know that it sounds like trivial, but a lot of times we don't always realize that we're not that person anymore. Like we
or
saw,
not in that situation anymore.
Because like we saw with Tia, she almost like shrunk or like reverted back to that same like, you know, little girl. And I don't know about you guys, like I know me. There are certain situations where someone will say something to me, or someone will say something to me, or like, especially like, you know, a parent or like a friend who like makes like a certain comment, and I shrink. I go right back to like a 7 or an 8-year-old, and I'm like, I don't have comments, or I start like getting like frustrated, like yes, or I'm gonna shut down because you triggered something to me, and my brain immediately reverted to like 12-year-old Charmaine, 7-year-old Charmaine, like. And we don't even always realize that those things are happening. We just know that like now I'm reacting in a different way.
Yeah. And I feel like I had that just this week. And so it's like a process to get to the point to where you're like maybe back regulated, or even like back in your body, right? In this place and in this reality. But that's also super normal.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a part of the process. And I don't think that people realize that. Like there's shame connected into, oh, this person made me feel this way, or oh, this part of me showed up when this person came around. But like that is just kind of how it goes. We don't get to choose how that happens, how we like how that shows up in our system. As we say, we are IFS therapists, and so we're going to use that kind of language. And so like it just shows up in our system, like oh, that rubs me the wrong way. Ooh, that reminds me of so and so, and I don't like that. And that doesn't mean it's your fault, or you're not mature enough, or you didn't work on it hard enough. It's just like this part is awake and it remembers what happened. That's it. And it's a different thing for it to have control over you and drive the things you do versus for you to just recognize, oh, that's there. That still feels
yeah.
icky.
But one of the things that we always push though is self-awareness, and then working on what like what it means to actually heal from it. Because even just recognizing it and acting out of those trauma responses doesn't really give you a pass either. If every single time someone comes up to me and talks to me, I shut down. I can be like, well, it reminds me of my childhood, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's a trigger for me. And so you just shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's not really saying that like now you get a pass to like go off on people or slap everybody every time you get upset because that's what you learned as a kid. Like, no, we actually have to like have self-awareness and then like move forward with that.
Yeah, you have to still do your own work around it. Right? Like you can move forward without shame. I think it's that whole, you remember the whole, like the Will Smith thing after the whole Chris Rock thing? He came out and he was like, I'm trying to process this without shame. And I think a lot of people were like, you should be ashamed. Like, you should feel how you feel. And I was like, but I don't think people understand that shame is not an adaptive emotion. There's not anything that we can do with shame that is good or healthy. Like that almost always leads to maladaptive behaviors.
Yes.
If somebody is doing something wild, crazy, hurtful, there's almost always going to be shame involved on some level. So in order for us to move forward, we really, not to say shame can't show up, but it definitely cannot be in charge and in the driver's seat.
Because I tell my clients all the time, you can't bully yourself into change. If anything, you can't repeat the same behavior that happened to you in order to produce a positive behavior. Oh, someone was mean to me, so I'm going to be mean to myself in order to produce a different behavior. That doesn't really quite work.
Or to get like some softness or something. Like the meanness is not going to bring out the softness. It's not. You need the softness to get to the softness.
But like, you know, we do recognize it that like a lot of us do think that if we shame or if we bully ourselves that we're going to change. Oh, you shouldn't be like that. That is stupid for you to act that way. Like all of these like negative self-talks like in our head is going to like, you know, push us to be better people. Tell me again how that's working for y'all.
It didn't work for me.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. I feel like we all go through it. We all have this like very critical whatever that shows up and tries to help us, but that is also not the vehicle for us to get there.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason why this shows up everywhere, even as adults, because like this type of thing, this problem never goes away. We always got to work on our stuff. We're always going to be rubbing up against other people with our stuff and their stuff.
And I think that we're always meeting what we call parts, where we're always meeting like, you know, new parts of ourselves. Like every time I think that I've like met me and I've learned people and yes, and I've healed this little part of Charmaine, little 7-year-old over there playing on the jungle gym. She's just fine. And then here pops 10-year-old and she's like, I'm still mad. And I'm like, oh man, come on, baby, let's have a talk. Cause you in there and you keep popping up at different times.
You just talking about me at this point. So anyway, you know me. I got a lot to say and I'm a little bit sassy, but it's the whole bigger picture. I feel like y'all feel us, and what we're trying to say here is that childhood stuff runs deep. It runs deep and it still shows up no matter how old you get.
Yes. So that part, I think that's something that I think that we struggle with as a culture, as a community, just in general. Stop telling people that they should be acting a certain way just because they're grown. Like, listen, we do not just become healed and grown because we hit 18. Like that is a legal age. That does not mean.
And I don't even know why we chose it, to be honest.
To be honest. But to be honest, we do not just like automatically heal from everything in our past just because like now we're adults.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you got married. It doesn't matter that you got kids. It doesn't matter that you got got 5 degrees. You still may not have healed from the stuff from your past.
Yeah. And almost as a rule, I think the phrase like time heals all wounds, I think it's taken out of context. I need to do my research on that. But from the last time I heard it was like, it was longer that said like time heals all wounds, but then also this. And so I think it actually is taken out of context. That's not the full thing because time doesn't heal anything.
No,
it really doesn't.
No.
As I tell people all the time, it takes intention. Right? Like
intentional.
Oh, you have to be intentional. You have to do something about it. You have to work on it, right? Like if you just have a broken bone, it will heal in some way, but will it heal back right?
No.
Will it heal back in a way that you can use it? Right? That it's functional?
Folks I know right now walking around with like arms that's just like sitting like this and it's been like that for years. It just kind of just like goes like that.
You'd be like, how's your back? Oh, we just do that. You know, it just do that. But you never got it fixed. You never got it looked at. You never rehabbed.
Keep going.
And it's the same with us. We're just like, it's okay. It's been a long time. I shouldn't still feel this way. But that's really not how it works. We got to rehab it, babies. We got to go to PT. therapy. It's basically physical therapy for you. For
You
your brain.
can't put a band-aid on a bullet hole. I mean, you can try.
I mean, you can. And I think a lot of people
You
do.
can try.
But then we get Clemmy. Clemmy out here being like, "Ooh, what's wrong with you? Something wrong with you. I'm better than you. It's a competition." Well, I mean, I guess it is a competition, but what does it matter?
In like a really, really insecure way. And like, I'm going to tear you down. Because Latia, Queen Latia, you still going to be bad like you was bad before.
And I feel like especially we see this a lot in work settings. I don't know if work just mimics school in a way, and like people have like power in divisions. See a lot of like workplace bullying, workplace
100%.
aggression, all that stuff.
There's a thing, and I just feel like this. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm right or wrong or indifferent. That you have a lot of people who have the insecurities and who can be bullies in certain ways that go on to be people of power because they continue on that same behavior. Just saying. So let it out there.
Well, I think that also bad behavior is also reinforced a lot. And so that a lot of people don't have any reason to change that because they end up getting what they want. But it doesn't always look that way. It will catch up. At least that's my belief. It will catch up with you eventually. So you can go ahead and be ugly and do all what you need to do and step on whoever you need to step on to get there. But I don't know. I don't like putting that into the world. And then that's also circling back around to me.
No, 100%. I think that definitely, I think that you need to be able to work on some of your stuff before you try to lead other people. But
we know that's not how that works in the real world.
Yeah.
Oh, we like you. Let's just promote you and let's go up. Not knowing like bullying is also just a tactic. Like it's a form of, I think, manipulation and coercion, which is a coping skill, right? And then like I don't want people to feel shame about like, oh, I have these tendencies. The point is like it's a coping skill that doesn't always work, or it's not very kind. It does not build community for you.
Yeah.
And so if that's something you want to change, you just need a bigger arsenal to cope with whatever it is you're trying to cope with. Like I know I'm making it sound simple. It's not necessarily easy, but it is that simple.
No. Yeah. Or I think that like that's when like you actually have to like do the work to like be intentional, like you said, and try to find you need more tools in your toolbox.
Yeah, like why do I feel this way? Whenever I feel out of control, do I have to like start poking at other people? Or why, when other people ask me questions about a thing that I did, that I start to get defensive and like want to pounce and I start coming off aggressive, right? Like my coping skill is to protect myself, but maybe that's not the best coping skill in this situation. Like, does that get what I want?
Yeah.
Maybe it gets the person to stop, but now they also hate you and y'all can't work together and y'all fight every time y'all see each other. So like,
but they're the problem, not you. It's cool.
Right. Does it actually get you what you want? And so, woo, as we work with children, as we work with adults, I think that's a good place to come from of just like, does that actually get you what you want in the long run?
And I mean, I
in the short run,
that sometimes it does feel like, no, this works. This 100% works.
I'm getting back at you and I'm getting what I want, which is maybe for you to shut up or for you to move out the way.
Yeah, I got the promotions, I got the job, I got whatever it is.
But long term, did you want friends? Did you want a community? Did you want people to show up when you needed them? Or did you just want people to do what you wanted them to do, like puppets, and that's it? And that gets into other stuff, but you know.
Yeah, understood.
And of course, I always love a good repair. We always love a good attachment thing. And so Tia says to Tamir, listen, I don't know which one got the mole. I can never remember. When I see them, I can know the difference.
Tamir has the mole.
When we're talking about, I have no idea. And so Tia apologizes to her sister. They both apologized to each other, which they actually made really good apologies. And I was like, ooh, they're really good at this, which that is a skill you can also teach people to do. I think Tamara was just like, I didn't tell you what was going on with me. And that was really the problem. If I would have told you what was going on with me, Tia said it. Okay, whoever said it. And if I would have told you, then we could have worked this out. You could have been more understanding. And then Tamara was like, you shouldn't have even apologized to me because I didn't even take the time to try to understand what you were going through. And it was just really nice.
What I love too is that when Tia told Tamara, I didn't trust you enough to tell you what I was carrying. And that's a really, really vulnerable moment for us to be able to admit that trust and that risk can be vulnerable, which is why I think that Tia immediately was first aggressive you don't care, you don't understand, this isn't important to you. She went into attack mode because it was too risky.
Always lived in this house. I ain't always lived here, so my life has looked different. She was on it.
Yes. Not only am I gonna like attack you, I'm gonna also throw in some stuff to hurt you. Because I'm gonna cut you.
I want you to leave me alone though.
Yeah.
Like you're getting too close to something, and I need you to back up.
Yes. So, but she was saying that it would have been too vulnerable and too risky for her to be like, here, I'm hurting. This is bothering me.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed that I'm hurt about it.
Yes,
too. Yeah, and then all that, they had to do a big fight, all the stuff. They don't speak to each other for like 24 hours, which is a lot for them. Like it's the whole thing.
Yes.
And so anyway, that's just an example of a really good apology. If you want to learn more about apologies, we have a video that's just about apologies and how Black people apologize or don't apologize.
For that matter.
So definitely go check that out. We'll link it in the description. But that's my big stuff. I love Sister.
Me too.
It's warm and fuzzies for me.
Yeah.
It is the age when I was like watching TV and really into stuff. And so I remember that part too. Sometimes it was a little risque. Sometimes
just attention.
But you know, the 90s and the 2000s, they was really pressing the buttons.
Okay.
Do you have questions?
As always, we have questions that need answers, guys. Let's look at my questions that need answers.
Do y'all remember this episode? Please tell us you remember this episode, because it just sticks in my mind. Like I cannot get it out of my mind.
Let me tell y'all. So if you watch this episode, the thing that the reason why Tamara really, really wanted to win the Double Dutch contest is because she said that she would have won all the shoes that you can carry out of Shoe Shack. And in my mind, I was like, ooh, all the shoes that I can carry.
I think it was like Shoe Shack City or something crazy. Like, I was like, Shoe Shack City?
But for me, it was also like, I think that I would have been like Tamara trying to be at home practicing, like, how many shoes can I carry? That's exactly what I would be doing. We would have trial runs. Like, do you remember that show? What was it, like, the grocery store or whatever? Absolutely. When they went through trying to go.
Get as much as you can and then go see how much you can get. Absolutely. I always thought about this show. I was like, if I ever get the chance, if I ever get the chance, do you understand how much money they would lose off of me? Well, shouldn't let me in. My question is, can you ever be too old for Double Dutch? I don't believe in it.
No.
I don't believe in it. They were like, Double Dutch, I'm too old. What are you talking about? First of all, y'all are children. Y'all are still in high school.
Yeah.
So yes, go play your games. And then also, let me come up on a Double Dutch somewhere.
Yeah.
You think I ain't gonna try to jump in. I'm gonna mess it up, but I'm gonna try.
I literally just told Jasmine that one of my like favorite childhood memories was like watching my mom and my aunts play Double Dutch in the middle of the street. Like I just jump Double Dutch, whatever. But yeah, love it. So me and Jasmine, literally, we watched the episode, like we watched the scene like a couple times before we hit the live. I want to know y'all comments. So we know that Tia and Tamara could jump Double Dutch, but there was like a part when they showed them at the very end of the show when they're jumping Double Dutch where I was like, are those stunt doubles? I don't know.
We have come to the conclusion that they were stunt doubles, which it doesn't even make sense. They could Double Dutch. The tricks wasn't even that. They wasn't like doing the worm or they wasn't doing cartwheels. They wasn't doing cartwheels in the Double Dutch. I don't get it. They literally just put up their knee and jumped with one leg. They could have done that. Why did they get? It was the wigs for me. They just had some girls with some wigs with hair that didn't move, and I was like, that ain't them.
I was like, I don't understand like what happened, and it's like one like aerial shot, and I'm just like, okay.
It didn't make sense. I had questions. Tia or Tamara, if you're watching this, just put in the chat. What did y'all have? Body doubles. Something's wrong with me. I am chronically silly. And so I thought when Clemmy was like, look at you, Queen Latia. I just thought that was so funny. I was like, well, that's
literally
really clever.
Whenever it played, she just could not stop laughing. So here we are.
But I think that's also one of my protective mechanisms is to laugh. If somebody roasts me and it's really good, I just don't have it in me to be mad. I will laugh with you because you worked hard on that and I got to give you your props. So that's just me. That don't mean you got to be like me. I'm just saying. Okay. And then Clemmy, which I like that girl. She was doing a lot in the 90s. She was like always the bully. I mean, like, I didn't like her characters, but she always had good energy. So she said, she said, oh, Clemmy, how have you been? And Clemmy said, keeping it real. And I said, Was that an insult? Did I miss that? I didn't understand.
What she was trying to say was, I'm keeping it real and you ain't.
But she didn't finish. It just was strange to me. She was like, Tamara was really trying to be nice. And she was just like, Tia, okay, whatever. She was really, that's wrong too?
No, it was Tia.
It's like, dang, I'm really trying. I was like, she was trying to be nice. Hey, how you doing, Clement? Keeping it real. Bro, are you okay? Like, that's the first sign of just like, you're not doing well, and I'm sorry to hear that, Clemmy, because that's a lot of energy. But I just said, how you doing? Question: what are calf crunches?
What?
When they were practicing, they were like, we got to do these calf crunches. She was like, oh, calf crunches. I was like, what is that? And I looked it up. I said, what is a calf crunch?
Didn't come up.
Nothing.
Okay. So I'm thinking like, calf raises maybe, but like calf crunches, no. That sounds like she just made that up.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. I'm making words too. It's cool.
So what is a Black Family Day celebration?
I don't know, but I liked it.
I don't think we can get away with that these days.
I don't know, but I liked it.
They were like, we got to go to the Black Family Day celebration. And I was like, what are we celebrating? Black families?
Yes, being Black in their family. I like it. And they was our wholesome families out there doing like baking contests and cooking contests, double dutch. I was like, oh, I guess I want this in my life.
The Black Family Celebration.
Yeah.
Jack A was funny.
I
really hate it. It is whole thing. Question. My only issue with sister, not my issue, but I'm gonna say my family issue, is that the energy that they gave their parents, no way I could get away with any of that. Let me tell you something. If you grew up in a Black family, just your posture was enough to get in trouble. If your mom and daddy said something and you had the nerve to be like this, they would be like, oh, what
are you lunching at me?
Because I remember when one of the girls, Tia or Tamara, was saying something back to the parents and she was like, no. And I was like, y'all ain't seeing that? Would you, Jack A, y'all gonna take that? Because ain't no way in my household that I would have had even my posture to look as if I had something to say. Just me? Okay.
Nope.
I'm just saying.
Understood.
Because the way that sometimes they would talk to their parents would be pushing it for me.
Yes.
And
my survival mode as a kid was to learn poker face, was to learn to like keep my hands thin. Because like, Lord forbid that your hand even like halfway ball up. And it's like, what y'all doing? Nothing.
Nothing
at all.
Let alone an eye roll.
Yes.
I could
hold your face straight.
These eyeballs together. Do you hear me? We got to get it together because I can't go. Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to practice. I don't care if I got to cross them. We going to have to be right here just like this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say my family was like even that big on that, but I know enough to know this voice ain't finna get elevated.
Yeah.
I know enough to know I ain't finna be like this. And what you got, ain't no way, my guy. Mm-hmm. And they really pushed the bounds. That's all I'm saying.
Agree.
And I was scared for them, but it's not like I ain't watched the show. I know they weren't gonna get whooped, but I was like, uh-oh. Somebody go get a spanking. I can't. See, that triggered me. Mm-hmm. You see how that's childhood still coming up and I'm grown?
Mm-hmm. Yes. As I said, my survival technique was just to put my head down and be like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all I had. I just love it. It just makes me giggle. The jokes are still good. I don't know that all of it ages well, but I just still love it. So we rocking with sister still.
What was your quote from Jack A?
She was trying to be deep. It wasn't a bad quote, but she was just like, baby, you can't live your life in the future when you're still hanging on to the past. I was like, okay, all right. We don't really want to be in the future necessarily, but I see what you're trying to say. You just let go. You're going to have to let go and let go, and I liked it. Mm-hmm. No? Okay. It was deep to me.
As always, guys, we're going to stay mentally dope.
Yeah, nothing to say.
Can you like, comment, and subscribe and leave your comments? Y'all just said that, sorry. Like, comment, subscribe.
Comment again is what she said. Comment once and then comment again.
And then let us know some questions that you need answers to.
And any other episodes we need to do because there's more episodes we could do. I really want to do Moesha too. Because that was a very dramatic. It was much more dramatic.
So many.
Melodramatic than the other stuff. So, yeah. Then the sister who was very wholesome. Anyway, y'all, stay mentally dope. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye.
What?
Because you read the wrong quote.